night. And then I say, okay, so, well, hello, I think we are in the air. We are here at PATV Studios. Right now I'm going to be looking at the camera, maybe. We are at PATV Studios and doing Nora's House of Dance on a Saturday afternoon. And I'm sitting in this place with two amazing men, artists, fabulous people here. Jesse Factor.
Yes. You got it right. You didn't say Jesse Jackson.
I know. I have to think about it twice. And Eloy Barragan, who has been here before many times.
Yes.
And
thank you for inviting us back.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have you here. It's all the world of dance, and we like to talk about that, or something else, I don't know. But anyway, I would say, why don't we start with you, Jesse? So
okay.
You can tell us something about who you are. A lot of people know who you are.
A lot of people know who I am.
Yes, you are really something in Iowa City.
Yeah, well,
yes.
most recently I've been doing quite a bit of solo work, making dances. I just got back from Madison, Wisconsin 2 weeks ago, where we went for the American College Dance Association.
Yeah.
And so there's 47 dances that are all shown. And I did a piece I made last year called Mommy Queerist that was sort of interested in the legend of Joan Crawford via Faye Dunaway.
Wow.
You know, the transfer of an idea from body to body that sort of still rings true, and sort of the idea of camp, what camp is, the aesthetics of camp, and how to render that.
What is it?
Yeah. So
what
camp is many things. You know, Susan Sontag wrote a famous essay, Notes on Camp, which she sort of, one of my favorite lines is, it's not a woman, but a woman. It's not a lamp, but a lamp. That it's sort of camp recognizes the fundamental, like, performative nature of our lives, especially with gender.
Yes.
And so also there's something about camp in terms of like sort of like gay history, gay culture, gay gossip circles. You know, the idea that often the tragic and the comic are held very close together. So, for instance, in Mommy Dearest, the film, when you know Joan Crawford is having all the drama with her daughter, because as a gay person in particular, sometimes the idea of the nuclear family can be very painful or removed for gay people. That we often find things like that quite funny. But also quite tragic at the same time.
Sure.
So it's holding those two things. Camp can often be, you know, taking something that's very serious and making it very ridiculous, or taking something that's very ridiculous and making it very serious.
Right.
So I really love the aesthetic play that camp can do, and then how a dance work can sort of employ that for the body. So Mommy Queerist was a piece that was kind of done about, you know, Joan Crawford and power and gender and the idea of the diva and the idea of a mother. Anyway, so there are 47 dances shown at Madison, and this dance was chosen for the final gala.
Wow.
So there were 13 dances at the gala, which is great. And you know, what I love about but I sort of saw myself as like sort of like the audacious dance provocateur. You know, most of the dances, you know, the curtain went up and the dancers were on the stage. But for my dance, the curtain goes up, and you know, you hear you remember old movies, Fox 20th Century, when you hear the trumpets, dun, 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 dun. So the blank stage, it's just dark, and you hear the trumpets, and then all of a sudden you hear the swirling music from the original Sunset Boulevard, and I'm in the audience standing there, and everybody's turning around, like, who's she? And then I turn around and I have my full beard, right? So it's like this idea that from behind, I'm wearing this beautiful white dress, and sort of like, okay, that's the shape, a feminine shape, perhaps, right? Then I turn around and it's this face that's like,
it's a beautiful face, but when you have hair,
so I was interested in like mixing those things and sort of being this dissonant. Same thing with tragic and comic, you know, that's blurring the binary of like also blurring the binary of gender, holding these things together. So anyway, at the end of that, they choose 3 pieces to go to the Kennedy Center at the summer, and Mommy Queerist was chosen as the first. No, it's no, it's the first alternate.
Oh, no, we need go there.
So I'm kind of thinking
sunset.
that maybe anyway, just go to Washington D.C. this summer and like have like the ACDA concert, but then like find a space next door and call the alternate show.
Do it.
That would be
You
really
should
helpful.
do it.
Could
You
be
can do
kinda
it.
funny,
You
right?
can do it right there outside. You can.
Yeah,
Yes.
just there with my
Yes.
white dress on. Mommy
Yeah.
queer eyes. But I really like dance that can,
Yeah.
I'm interested in dances that, you know, I don't shy, many choreographers, you know, don't particularly care for acting. You know, some
Yes.
choreographers have a thing
Yes.
about that, but
Yeah.
I welcome that. I
Yes.
think of the dance, I'm interested in dance that proposes a theatrical body, a hyperbolic body, an excessive body. I'm interested in like pushing beyond boundaries to
Yes.
see where the everyday life, the quotidian life, sort of like finding the excess of that. I feel like that's
Yes.
what dance, for me, that's what I
If-
like my dances
yes,
to do.
yes.
I have seen several pieces of yours, and all of them, I love them dearly. But tell me, I would like you to explain us what is this, because in every single piece I see a little bit of touch, especially with the first one that I saw from you, Marthogany.
Yeah.
That every single piece has something that I believe that is embodied in yourself. It's about Martha.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all your pieces, that drama and theatricality, it connects with all of your work.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Do you think that that's part of what your voice or your signature as a choreographer, or is something that is perhaps is something that is happening to you now, and you see something developing to something else?
I think this is such an interesting question because
Yeah.
I've thought about this a lot myself of like, why am I doing this again? And I think because, you know, I trained at the Martha Graham School. I had seen the Graham Company when I was, you know, 16 or 17. They were on tour and my mother said, oh, we're going to go see Martha Graham. And I said, oh, is she a singer? I had no idea what to expect. And I remember sitting there and just thinking, I've never seen anything so beautiful in my life. And that I felt it was a poetic body. It was this beautiful sense of theatrical communication without
Right.
language.
Right.
But I just felt like I experienced, not understood, but it was sort of like this intellectual, emotional experience that was unparalleled to anything that I had felt in a theater before. It was so unique. So I really love the uniqueness of it. So I went to the Graham School, and I studied. You know, I'd go there and I would be there all day, you know, take 2 classes a day and have rehearsal, and then I'd go into the studio by myself in the dark and practice. I took it very seriously because I felt so passionate about it. I really wanted to learn.
That's the only way. To be serious and dedicated. Otherwise,
Yeah. So, you know, I danced in the second company for 3 years, and then I danced with the main company on touring for about a year, and then I had an injury. So the whole time I was in the dancing there, you know, I loved the repertoire. I loved it. It was great. But, you know, as a man in the Graham world, you know, I was always going to the gym. I felt like I had to be like this Adonis version of myself that really wasn't me. And I'd always be in the corner, like, watching the women, being like, ooh. Because the women in the Graham work are so powerful.
Yes.
And I love the way that they move, but I just really was interested in some of the other work that wasn't accessible to me when I was in the company. So, but in class, everyone does the same material. So I would always feel like, oh yeah, this knee vibration feels good. I like that. So I see the work now, to answer your question, as sort of like the chance to sort of like live out this unreconciled part of myself that always was like, well, I want to do that. And now there's a chance to self-invent, self-fashion the work in that way. But yeah, you know, there's just something, what I really love about the Graham work is the poetic abstraction and the drama of it is that it's so stripped of any type of ornamentation. It's so definite. It's just like the thing at its barest essential, like the lifting of an arm or like the depth of a contraction, just the simple thing. So I was just really interested in how to keep going back to that, you know, through the simplicity that reveals the drama.
Yes,
It's like sort of in a way of like in other times putting on the mask, right, of the whatever I choose to wear reveals the truth.
Right.
So I'm really interested in like the way the inverse of these things can work. And for me, I think that's
very interesting because I mean, when you were talking, it was like so precise, so glam.
Yeah.
At the same time, with this kind of like mask and that is almost like what you were talking about, camp. Something very serious and create some another perspective and then flip it again, and it's like wow. So that duality to me is very, very taken.
Yes.
I'm learning the more I do it, the more I do like the different pieces, like how the way, like the sort of like the dramaturgical shifts that can occur, like how to set the viewer up for a certain experience that then you flip, surprise them in a way, or that something's going on the whole time that they don't realize until the very end, or things like that. But
so do you think as part of the work that you are going to continue be doing as a solo performer, Martha will be there all the time? I mean, it will be. And there will be some diva and fabric or... Yes.
So now it's really interesting, like Marthogony started as a single piece, you know, that was based, for all the work I try to be as, like you were saying, as specific as possible with the source material. So like Marthogony has continued to grow, so it's actually a 25-minute piece now, which I recently did in Austin, and it has different parts, and like now the first part that I did is actually the ending, because the whole thing sort of starts with this idea of like fabric and you know excess to then in the end the shedding of the skin. So it's evolving through these different iterations.
I see. We should see, you know, maybe Gerardo can show us some of the pictures that Jessie sent us, because they show the makeup and the fabric and the movement. I think it'll be nice for people to see what
if it's possible, that would be great.
Yes, I don't know. Okay, look at that.
That's Marthogony. That's the opening of Marthogony. That skirt is about 8 feet long.
The skirt is beautiful. I saw that. I saw part of that, and I couldn't believe what he was doing with fabric. It was pure perfection. Yes.
And again, that's researched with Graham archival a piece. So I found it very interesting to take certain little pieces of it and then refashion it in my own way to this Diana Ross.
Right. Yes, I know.
It's very incongruous. I really love that.
Yes.
To make a third thing a new thing.
Yeah. So look at that. That's so fun.
That piece is also part of Marthogony, and that I pulled that idea from a piece called Heretic that I saw when I was a teenager that Martha did, and she's all in white against group that's all dressed in black. So I took some of the physicality of that, but the idea, and then I found a recording of Diana Ross singing The Impossible Dream at Caesar's Palace in 1969, I think. And there was something sort of like the idea that like you keep working, but you never quite arrive, like to bear, like there was something about sort of like, the diva, like she makes her private pain becomes public in a way, like whether it's Princess Diana or it's Joan Crawford or whoever it is at the moment, it's like we feel we are we're able to see her. She's available to us in a different way.
Right. Yes.
Okay. So that's the first Marthogony that I ever did. That was originally based on, the source material was lamentation, just the imagery of the skirt being stretching inside your own skin, and then it comes off and things happen.
I know. Yes. And I think we have one or two more.
Yeah, there's one more. That's Marthogony as well. The more I do that piece, the more fun I have with it, and I just love the idea that when the lights first come up, it's like this white face floating in the dark, like almost like a ghost.
And when I think about that piece, it's a piece that really touched the people from the very essence of their hearts. It's kind of like you look at it and you want to cry.
Yes,
it's like so pure, and it's a kind of for me, it's kind of a sorrow.
Yes.
And it's like. I cannot explain, but it's something that really touches to everybody in different way, but it's something very personal.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's like that idea, what I find so beautiful about much of Martha's work and her philosophy is that, like you were saying, is that it's like this human condition that's, you know, it's
Yes.
non-negotiable. Like everyone mourns at some point in their
Yes.
life,
Mhm.
but then it is very specific and individual to each person and
Yes.
their own experience in life. So
Mhm.
I think, you know, now that we're talking about it, that's what the work sort of endeavors to do, is sort of like find that, whether it's mommy queer, is like everyone has a mother, right?
Yeah.
So, and everyone's been yelled at by their mother at some point. So that's like sort of like the non-negotiable,
Oh, yes.
right? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and that's why I think part of the reason the piece is so funny is because it takes
Uh-huh.
that and just pulls it to the extreme.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm interested in that, of like
Mhm.
the finding the twists on those like collective experiences
Yes.
that everybody.
Yes. And
know,
you
would
like
have.
to work with fabric.
I love
You
working
love
with fabric. Yeah,
Yes.
because I think what fabric does, like, and you've worked with fabric a little bit
Yeah.
too, Eloy, in some of
Yeah.
your pieces,
Yeah.
which I really love. You know, when you had that red scarf
Yeah.
in like maybe 2015, I think.
Yeah, 2014.
Yeah, it came from the sky. It was
Yeah.
gorgeous, gorgeous. But
Yeah.
what I like about fabric is that I think it almost makes the trace of the dance last a little longer,
Oh, okay.
because it's like an extension of the body.
Mhm.
And so why I
Yeah.
loved that purple skirt is that I felt like it truly, like, it gave life to what I felt I was doing, but
Yes.
in another dimension,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I love that. Or like then with the other fabric, and at the end of orthogony, it's like the stretching inside of that. Like, so
Mhm.
working with these two, like either the exploding or like the
Yes.
imploding, or the tiny tensions
Yes.
between it. I
Yes.
love fabric,
Yeah.
and there's so many different things to do with fabric and
Uh-huh.
working with it.
I would like to mention that Jesse, I mean, this is his work, but he's very respected with the Graham Foundation. They're
Oh,
very respected
thanks.
there. Because of Jesse, the department, the University of Iowa Advanced Department, we had the opportunity, and they gave us the rights to be, for him,
Mhm.
himself, setting up Martha's work.
Yeah.
So that's something that is very,
It
something
is.
to
It
admire
is.
and to respect.
And it's,
Because-
Nice.
I'm curious about the Martha Graham Company. Do they
Yeah.
have to give you some kind of permission to do what you are doing, or you can just take the piece and rebuild
You know,
it?
for the piece that I said at the University of Iowa,
Uh-huh.
yes, there's Graham Resources,
Yes.
which is sort of like the archival
Right.
home of all of the
Mhm.
pieces. So they license out the work for
Okay.
for institutions like
Mhm.
higher ed and high schools
mhm.
that want to perform the work. So
Yes.
yeah, that was a special agreement, and then we worked really hard for a long
Yes.
time. And I was so proud of the dancers, especially they
Yes.
got to go to the Joyce
Yes.
and do it in New York. So
Yeah, I remember
For the
that.
department,
Yes.
it was,
Yeah.
Yes.
for me as a faculty here, it was now really a gift.
I
To
can
do
see
a work
that.
from Martha, an icon of the contemporary dance,
yeah.
Yeah.
is a privilege. It's a
Yeah.
privilege. So we were very fortunate to have Jesse, and then that he got these rights to set it and set it on our students.
Mhm.
And this is something that they learn and they will never forget. They did a lot of work,
Yeah,
and
I
they
can
were
guess.
they were
worked really
they went to
hard.
New York and performed there with
Yeah.
other universities,
Mhm.
other
Yeah.
institutions.
Yes.
But just that the learning of a master,
Yes.
Mhm.
that's something that is like
Yeah.
to never forget and to
Yeah.
always
It's-
have it
yeah.
as a life experience.
Yeah, I think
Mhm.
also for that
Uh-huh.
was really beautiful to see a lot of the students, you know, I would see them in other work and see how they had sort of grown or changed as performers, and
Uh-huh.
what sort of like the experience inside the Graham work. I mean, because we started it the summer before we started it in like a May, we had a couple of workshops in May
Uh-huh,
of 2016, I think.
Yeah.
And then we came back to school in August of 2017, and then they were done in February of 2017. Yeah. So we came, 2016, 2017 is when we
Yes.
were working. I mean, they were with it for almost 6 months. So
Really?
they really, I think a lot of the core principles, you know,
Mhm.
the Graham, the powerful center of the body, the
Yes.
contraction, the release,
Mhm.
the three-dimensional sense of spiral. And some
Mhm.
of the students that really got into it, like I think
Mhm.
their bodies were changed,
Uh-huh.
you know,
They did change.
forever.
Their
Yeah.
approach to movement it
Yeah.
changed. And I
Uh-huh.
think that because of Jesse's work, I mean
Yeah.
the detail that
Yeah.
he gives them, but also about the detail that the technique.
Mhm.
Graham's
Yeah.
technique is
Right.
very, very difficult,
Yeah.
and you really need to really work to the highest
Mhm.
level. So I think that was that's what all these students. It's when I saw them in other pieces.
Yeah.
They learned that, so they said, like,
Yes.
I need to really raise the bar all the
Yes.
time, and that was something that they will always be good for them.
Yeah, I mean, I just love the piece. Has music by Carl Nielsen.
Yes,
He's a Danish
yes.
composer, and it sort of starts as the sun begins to rise, and there's this sense of beginning.
What was the piece?
Helios.
Helios.
Yeah, from Acts of Light. So it's the
Yeah.
it's a triptych that Martha made near the end of her life, and so the piece that we did was very challenging, which was great for the dancers.
Yeah.
They really had great, there were big jumps in second onto the floor and up again, and pitch turns, and
there were many dancers.
There were many dancers. I think I had 17 and 2 understudies. It was a huge cast, so it's a lot to be working with. And lots of different sections, but I just loved hearing that music every day, and I loved, working with them every day. It was such a great experience. So.
Now, when you teach at the university, what kind of technique do you teach?
I do teach a grand fundamental class. Yeah. I just feel like the core of the, of course it's adaptable to any, population. But I think like the core idea of like finding your center of power is really great and useful to dancers in any, wherever they want to take it, whatever and then they take that and they transform it. They do what they want with it.
Right.
But it's a way of thinking, a way to do it, a way
Yes.
that then you can depart from.
Right.
And I think it's useful in that way. And I also think it's really, for other techniques, like it just fills a really nice niche. It does things that other techniques don't, but then it also supports things that other techniques do really well. Like classical ballet or a release technique. I mean, for a release technique, I really feel like the Graham technique gives you a technique to release, gives you a place to work from, especially in terms of giving you the center of your body. But when I started at the Graham School, I stopped taking ballet for about 3 years, just because I wanted to really find a new way of working. And then when I went back to ballet class, it was wonderful to think about the spiral of the legs and turn out, or like épaulement is spiral and how that works. I found turning an attitude much easier, just so many, and balancing was easier because we don't use a bar ever in Graham. So like I'd be standing there like, okay. It was really wonderful to see how these things really supported each other in ways that, in the 40s and 30s especially, people were very like, there was a modern camp and a ballet camp and never the two
They don't talk to each other, yes.
Yeah.
I remember reading, I think it's in your artist statement, in your website, you talk about the strangeness of dance.
Yeah, I mean, dance is strange, right?
It is. We agree.
For sure it's not natural.
It's not natural.
Especially ballet.
Yes.
Ballet.
Yes.
It is
Yeah.
unnatural.
Yeah. I love to like just push the strangeness because I don't know. I just think there's really something special about that unique artistry or unique experience that can only happen with dance. What are the things that only dance can do? I'm really interested in that. I'm like still kind of figuring that out. I think that's an ongoing question.
Yes, there is something magical about dancing. And even when you do it on the side, like I've been doing that since I was 5, it's that moment when you go to the studio, you take a class, you rehearse a piece, you are a different person. There is something that dance gives you, gives us human beings, that other physical arts don't, or physical. Do you do, speaking of that, do you do only dance, or do you work out in other ways?
I do work out in other ways.
Oh, I like your face when you say that.
I hate it, but I do. Yeah, because I have I have a couple injuries, so you got to stay cross training, and you got to do it. And, most of my work, I end up taking my clothes off, so I want to make sure that the audience screams, but for the right reason.
Yes, exactly. Now, I remember that conversation before. So what kind of ritual do you have, like before a performance, or? And I mean, it's not just the day before or the day of, but the month before a performance. So.
No, this is really good. So when I went to Austin in February for the 25-minute long version of Martha Agony, I've never done it before. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna drink any alcohol until it's over. So for an entire month, I just. But then also. I really, when it's a solo, I feel so responsible that I have to do it every day. I have to rehearse every day, not even a day off. I just feel like that constant, like, you gotta go, you gotta do it. Even if you just go in for 25 minutes, you go in, you run it, and then you go home. Just that it becomes so second nature for me, because I don't have the best memories that I know for myself. I just keep doing it every day, every day. And then sometimes I like to do this thing where I'll listen to the sound score of the piece, you know, and just do everything in my head, and just have that experience of, like, that way you don't get so wound up about it.
When you are doing it.
Exactly.
So what would you like to do next? I mean, I know that maybe you don't have a plan. You are graduating. So if you can say.
Well, I do have a couple of performances coming up. I'm doing something for Flyover Festival.
I know,
here,
I read that. Yes, that is. We can say that that is on the 27th, I think, of April.
It's on the top of the Vitra Hotel. It's sort of a queer fashion event called I think Remember to the Future or something like that. Okay. So I'm really looking forward to that. I have a new look planned.
Okay.
Blow your mind.
27.
And I'm going to introduce.
Go there.
We're also introducing. There's going to be Marthogony and the Marthogonettes. Okay.
Oh, we need to go. We definitely need to go. Okay.
And then after that, in May, next month, oh my gosh, we can say next month now, because May is next month.
Yes.
I'll be going to Toronto for the Fierce Queer Burlesque.
That sounds exciting.
So I'll do a small section of Marthogony for that.
Okay. What else happens there?
It's a festival with all these different burlesque artists who you know, are queering burlesque or just doing you know, their own thing.
I must say though, but based on what I saw and maybe we saw, I mean, he's taking burlesque to the highest.
That's the other thing I'm really interested too, is like
Yes.
taking that popular culture thing and mixing it with that high art thing, or like continuing, you know, to flip the two things.
Yes,
like,
because burlesque is, I mean, is misunderstood, or it has the popularity or this kind of phantom that is something that is just in these dark places, unsafe places. And that just should not be. It should be also that you can take it, and that you are doing that. You're making it up, take it to a performance, to a theater, and with something with a lot of research and a personal investigation about yourself. So that's something that is, I respect that a lot.
With a lot of these artists that I'm looking at that are going to be there in Toronto as well, they're so creative, but they're doing some really cool things. So I'm looking forward to going and just seeing what other artists are doing. I mean, I don't consider what I do like, you know, strictly burlesque, but it definitely has that element of, you know.
It does. No, definitely.
Tell me, you've been here with us, and it's very close for you to take off.
I know he's
but
living
has passed 3 years.
3
years that you chose from the beginning that you wanted to do 3 years.
Really?
Yes, he was like, I want 3 years. I need time. And that was something that we knew that, like, he has a plan he wants to do and how much he wants to learn, he wants to take out with him. So with all those 3 years, tell us about what's your experience. What's your experience with undergrad students and people and adaptation from New York City to Iowa City?
I know, it was crazy.
To go every year and to do all these layers of transformation because you come from a professional setting. So that from professional setting to university setting and becoming a student. It's a complete, it's a change and acceptation. So like, let's say, okay, becoming humble. It's like, I'm here to learn.
It's just a student.
It's just a student. I need to learn. So tell us about that.
Well, it was really exciting, but it was also really, like Eloy was mentioning, you know, really of just like transforming, you know, sort of like being really mindful in the beginning of, you know, like clarifying the reasons of like embarking on the study for a master's. You know, for everyone it's different, but for myself, I really felt like I wanted to really continue to learn how to make a dance. Making dances is really hard, I think.
Not for Eloy.
I know, Eloy makes beautiful dances in 2 minutes, and you're like, how do you do that?
That's what we think. Okay.
Yeah, that's what we think. He makes it look easy.
Yes.
So I really just wanted to learn sort of that. But then also, I mean, I don't know, like, I just felt like expanding in so many different ways very quickly. Of like making group work and making solo work, writing papers, teaching classes, taking classes, reading the things that I was always interested in but never had the time or didn't know that that's where the text actually lived, that would interest me or like or inspire me in the ways that it eventually did.
Yes.
So yeah, I think the experience really is transformative because you come with a desire for knowledge, definitely. You come prepared. I mean, I was ready. I was very excited and interested to come. But then also the things that you may think you will end up doing or that you're interested in maybe really aren't the things that you're truly interested in or the things that are interested in you doing, like in terms of, I don't know how to articulate that, but you keep continuing to clarify, to refine, you know, what you're doing, why you're doing it, and you know, who you are. I think it's a continuing process of self-definition, self-clarification, and you know, I still feel like I'm learning. We're learning more. But I mean, I do just like want to thank you for your support since the beginning.
I know.
The first year,
okay, you need more.
You've been so supportive of the work. Both of you actually.
No, but I know
you.
I met you or I saw your work the first time at Eloy's house. Actually, it was an evening after
you were so kind
after
to
Garda or something. I don't know what happened, and you were presenting your experimentation with fabric and people in heels and heels in their hands, and you were like, oh my gosh, I was fascinated. I was like, what is this? This is so great. I mean, I love it. I mean, it's Jesse, and he just came, and he just got here. He's interested in fabrics, and I know. But I know that you supported him big time from the beginning.
I remember sitting in your office, and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm not sure. And you were like, well, this is the place to experiment. And this is the place to not play it safe. You don't have $10,000 on the line. You're not at the Joyce. Alistair McCulley isn't sitting in the front row. Like, go for it and do it. And I was like, he's so right.
Yes.
And it just really felt like you gave me permission to do the things that interested me.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's great,
yeah. But I'll never forget that.
I truly believe that go to university setting and just to find your voice, that's the place. That's the place because, it will be people who give you feedback, but it will not be in the Joyce. It will not be that they just chop you off.
And I have to say, you know, we went to Madison, this ACDA thing. I had never been to an adjudicated concert. And it's strange, you know, you go into a room the day after the concert, and there were 3 adjudicators, nationally recognized dance artists, that talk about each dance. They anonymously say, like, okay, so this piece, and then they go to critique it. And, you know, I feel like the 3 years here really prepared me for that, of like, you know, how to process feedback, how to listen to feedback, how to be able to separate, you know, what you value and what you don't. And sort of just clarify, like, this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it, this is why it matters to me. And, you know, once you know that, you're really able to take feedback and process it, I think, much better, right? Than if you just feel like, oh, I hope they like it. Well, maybe not.
Well, I think it's wonderful. I mean, the experience here.
I do too,
Give you that.
Because I think, also to speak to your question, when I first came here, I think all that I wanted was, I just hope they like it. You know, that's what you feel in the beginning when I first started making work. Like, I didn't really know why I wanted. I needed help to clarify, you know, why I was doing what I was doing, and you know, sort of like the end game for me. Of the
so what were you doing in New York until then?
So in New York, you know, I had been teaching at the Martha Graham School, and I had been teaching at the Marymount School of New York there as a teaching artist, and both those were really great. at that point I had sort of finished dancing professionally, and was like, okay, I think I want to teach more, I want to make work. I was sort of negotiating how to do that and where to go. So I went to ADF, I went to the American Dance Festival summer for returning professionals. It was like a week-long thing, and then I stayed an extra week. And I met Nick Lecter there, who had been here in Iowa. And we were talking about graduate school, and he gave me really good advice about where to go and programs to look at, and suggested Iowa, and I really liked the program, and the timing was right, the fit was right, it just happened at the right time. So
well, we were very lucky to have you here for
I was really lucky
time.
too. Yeah.
And so when you are doing your thing, we're gonna say, I met him. I know. Yes. So anyway. There is one more clip, or two clips, I think, that I would like to show of Jesse's work. That it was a piece that he performed last year in the opening reception of the dance festival at the penthouse over there. And I think you remember how wonderful that was.
That was
and actually, PATV here had two little clips, two short clips that I think we need to see. And I need more wine.
I think this piece is called, this piece was called Battle Axe.
Oh, we never knew that. We just enjoyed it.
There it is. You gotta make your entrance down the stairs.
Yes.
So I found that sequin fabric at Joann, and I put it on this other see-through dress that I had.
Wow! Look at that! Look at that! Look at that image there with the background. It's amazing.
Cool. Yeah.
Dance modernism, Broadway, and sort of like also sort of like the queer canon. Also, it's informed by.
I remember when I took the taxi, I took an Uber to come
exaggeration
to
and
that house.
hyperbolic sense.
I had that on. The Uber driver didn't know what to say to me.
I must say that experience for everybody who was there, I have to be honest, it's like some people were like, they didn't know what to say.
Right.
It was like, what?
What?
And then they start to see how serious it was. It was nothing about any satire or anything. It was an artist presented their work.
Yes.
And in the end, everybody was like, that's different. That's amazing. And all the feedbacks that I got were like very, very positive. And not many of them, they were like, I don't know what is that, but it's very, very interesting and I like it.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
we are a lot of people. They have not really seen that kind of work.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, with being respectful, we are in
But that was,
city.
it was.
You know what I mean? There are
it
many
was
people
very,
who travel a lot. There are many people that not.
Yeah.
The
But
people
that piece, for everybody, it was very engaging. I mean, it was like at some point there was this silence and people were just like, what's going on here?
I love
Look
that
at
moment. That's one of my favorite moments of like doing a work when you're like, when you get that click, when you get the lock in.
Yes, and you know you get them.
Yeah.
Right?
Almost like they catch you breath. It's like they are breathing with you,
Yeah.
and so you don't hear anything because they are breathing with you.
Yes.
It doesn't always happen.
Okay. Well, it certainly happened that day. I think that you made that dress.
Oh, the costume, yeah.
The
So the costume's like, sometimes pieces start and it's just the costume. I have no idea what it's going to be, but I know like, okay, I want to work with this thing and then see what happens. So that piece started because I found that sequin fabric on sale at Joann. And I thought it looked like a dress.
Yeah.
So I took it,
Yeah, and you had the other piece.
I had the other piece, so we cut it, and then I worked with one of the costume coordinators downstairs. She helps me, but I'll go down with designs and drawings and ideas, and we'll put it together. So
Yeah.
To have that talent, I mean, you had to create your own movement. You had to create the idea, the concept. But then on top of that, you had to, you had the skills. Not many people have that. Have the skills to choose the fabric, make sure that moves with you, make sure that connects with your idea, and make it. It's like,
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I almost, doing the 25-minute long version for Austin in February. it almost, I mean, and at the same time I was working on my thesis, so I was having these two projects going on at the same time, and both were really important to me for different reasons, but that one was like, oh my gosh, it was a real, like, I just had to force myself to, you know, make the thing, or
25 minutes
like do it.
is a
Yeah,
long
yeah, yeah. It was a long, it was a long piece, and like very, you know, I mean, like, they take a lot of energy.
Yes.
Because they're very excessive. They go to that place of like, and you know, they're on like, if it's a 1 to 10, they're on 15. You know, so that was a really rough like period of just having to like get up and do it. So that's why I go to bed early.
Yeah, I know. We were talking about it earlier. No, that we kind of stay late. Jesse likes to treat himself to candles and music.
I put the cucumbers on my eyes, put the towel on my head and a mud mask, and I just rest. Fuzzy slippers.
He's telling the truth. That is the thing.
With Debussy, right? Yeah.
That's amazing. That is fantastic. That is fabulous that you can do something like that. So, do you remember the first time that you were on a stage doing something?
You know what? I think the first time I ever was on the stage was, okay, so my parents worked at a high school in Pennsylvania. And one year they took us to see the talent show. And there were two things I remember. A girl did like a gymnastics routine to Wake Me Up Before You Go by Wham. Remember that song that was like, wake me up before you go.
Oh, yeah.
Leave me hanging on a nightly yo-yo. And maybe she was doing cartwheels, or maybe she had a baton, but I was like enthralled by what she was doing. I was like, okay. And then a man sang Send in the Clowns, the Stephen Sondheim song, you know, the isn't it rich, is na 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 na. And I was like, can we come back? Like, does my mom was like, well, it will happen again next year. And I was like, well, I don't want to just go next year. Like, I want to be in it. And she was like, but you're in 3rd grade, and this is the high school talent show. And I was like, I don't care. I want to be in it. So she asked, you know, the person who organized the talent show, you know, can Jesse sing a song? You know, he can't win, you know, because he's in elementary school, but can he be in the talent show? So I sang a song called The Rainbow Connection from the Muppet movie that Kermit sings at the beginning of the Muppet movie.
And the song is, can you sing it?
Yeah, it's like, why are there so many songs about rainbows, and what's on the other side? So it's very much like like Somewhere Over the Rainbow, like very gay about rainbows, and there I am singing about the Rainbow Connection. But I had a white suit and a flowered shirt, and I took it very seriously. So that was my first time stage singing.
Very great.
Yeah, I must have been 8. 7 or 8. Yeah.
You didn't win, but no, you didn't win.
Well, I wasn't allowed to win. Okay. If I would have been allowed, I would have won.
Of course. I mean, only white with flowers and singing that song. I mean, how can you?
But that's amazing that your mom was like supportive.
Yeah,
and,
they're like, sure.
Let's try it. Why not? I mean, a
yeah.
kid wants to do something. Why not support the artistry and the desire to create?
The desire to do something,
Yeah.
to create something and show it to an audience. Yeah.
It's very
So you were
fun.
never like a stage, afraid of the stage or anything like that. You like to be there and your face on the stage. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, usually I do get nervous. I mean, I think it's natural for everybody,
of course.
right?
It's responsibility.
Yeah. It is a responsibility, especially in the solo work. Like, that can be absolutely terrifying when you're in the dressing room by yourself. There's nobody there. So I always take, I always have like a picture of Diana Ross, a picture of Martha Graham, a picture of Madonna, a picture of all, my divas. Exactly. Because I know I'd take them with me.
Yeah.
When I go, they're there with me.
Oh, I love that.
That's awesome.
That's a great story.
Because it's terrifying. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah. But once you are on the stage, I mean, you just love being on the stage.
Oh, yeah, I love
showing
it.
your thing.
I love it.
To people.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yes.
Yeah. I love it. And, I love that I've really enjoyed the pieces that are a little bit funnier, I really love when the audience, reacts in some way, or like if I'm coming from the audience and they start to applaud, or if there's a moment that really makes everyone, laugh a little. Like, I love that. I think that's really important that dance still, in whatever way that it's working, can elicit an reaction.
And
I think that's important for the work that I do.
I think that is something very important, that like what you're saying, dance gives that opportunity, and a lot of people have a like misunderstanding or misinterpretation about what is dance. Yes, I mean dancers, we always deal with mirror. Always in the like how I look.
Right. Yeah.
Competing if you have the extensions or not, you have the right body or not.
Right.
So it's a lot of complex, very complex psychological situations there, that any dancer, any person who successful in overcome all those barriers, I think that is admirable, and at the same time it's like a lot of people who don't know how difficult it is, who know how much you had to work for it, or that we enjoy. Yes, we work hard, but we enjoy fun. That we are sensitive about what is happening in the other side. It's not about the glamour. Many times you're in the glamour, and then you go to just your tiny little apartment in your New York City with like only one token to go home. And those circumstances is not always the glamour. We are still humans, and we still like with a lot of pains and bills and things like that.
And the desire and the enjoyment of connecting with the people around you. I mean, having this response, having people liking, having people laughing at what you are doing.
And I think that's like probably sometimes it's, in my point of view, it's not about wanting them to like you, but it's the hunger to communicate. The hunger to say like, do you hear what I'm saying? Or let me hear you. Tell me, you know what I mean? That hunger of communicate within the language that we are expressing. Because it's like, I find so many times, especially in these times with all the devices, it's a lot of no communication. It's no physical connection, not eye to eye. Everyone's like, they're sitting down and they're talking to them in the device, and that's something that is very scary.
And it's so weird. I feel like dance really has the potential to make connections in unique ways, right? Because everyone has a body, but everyone's body's different. Like there's this really great, there's for identifications and communications, but I was laughing the other day. Somebody said something about like, that person that like has their phone in their hand like 24/7 when you're with them, and then you text them and like it takes them 5 days to text you back. Like the technology, because it is so immediate, like it because it can happen anytime, we take it for granted, and then we don't even connect via the technology, right? Whereas the dance, like there is no alternative.
It's your moment.
You have to produce in physical terms what that is. Like whatever the curtain goes up or the lights go up, and like if you're viewing, I mean, of course you can choose to look away. You don't have to watch, but you get to choose sort of how you're watching, or what you're watching, or why you're watching. That it's non-negotiable. Like the contact, you go. I mean, the expectation for different performance venues can be different. But I just really like the idea that it's like, okay, 8 o'clock curtain, what does that mean? It means there will be an interaction, there will be some type of exchange, and that's why I value the theater, that's why I value this experience, that it really does. We're even going to the movies now, which people don't do anymore as much, right? The collective experience of watching. I love that. And there's something really special about it when everyone in the theater goes, or everybody has that like collective response to that one thing. It's exciting.
I completely agree with
like
that.
Talking the movies, but for example, the movies are like, they set the movie and the product is set to be in that movie.
Right.
As a feature film. So doesn't matter if they see it in the premiere or if they see a year later. Product is still the same.
Right.
It's the product. That's what they experience, that performance. Which in dance is connection one-to-one. You are looking at it, at the same time you know that that's already history. It will never happen again. And even if it's recorded,
it's never the same. I mean,
the product, the performance
Yes,
on
yes,
stage, it
yes.
will never happen again. So it's
Exactly.
kind of like, I mean, you're losing something.
Yes. Yeah.
It's great that we can document
Yes.
now
Yeah.
with the
It's
technology.
wonderful, but still, in the performance art, every second is unique.
Yeah.
It's
It's
unique
not gonna
because
happen
a
again.
minute later,
Yes.
it's already history.
But
Yes.
this is the thing that I find also so interesting, is that in the same way that it is history, right, and it will never happen again the same, like, I'll never forget those moments in the theater, in live
Mhm.
theater, you know, like,
Yeah.
something as, you know, I remember when I was 10 years old and I went to the Winter Garden Theater, and it was the, like, 10 minutes into Cats on Broadway,
Mhm.
and this, you know, little white cat comes up, she does a développé à la seconde,
Oh yeah.
in a beautiful adagio, goes to releve, and goes down into a split. I still see that in my mind, like it was, like, right now.
Yes.
And that's always present in me,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
so interesting
Yeah.
that although it
Yes.
is constantly escaping us,
Yes,
some
yes,
of these
yes.
things stay with
Mhm.
us, you know, in really
Yes.
deep ways.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that.
That's
I really love
fantastic. Okay. He's saying that we have 10 minutes
Okay.
to go. You see, we've been here since 3:30. Okay. We can, yeah. Now we're gonna switch topics.
Let's switch it.
quickly. We'll keep talking about dance.
Yeah.
It's a dance festival coming up.
Dance festival.
Ah, the dance festival.
And Eloy Barragan, you are the director this year with
Yeah,
your
yeah.
wife,
The
Sarah
co-director,
Barragan.
co-director.
With-
Oh yes.
With
the-
your wife,
I
Sarah.
must say, like, we feel very, very honored that Nora, you have carried this festival for 11 years.
11.
Wow.
This is the 12th anniversary of the Iowa Dance Festival, and she asked us, invite us to lead in the artistic side, my wife and myself. So we are very honored. Nora is still with us as executive director and as advisor, because it's her
And
baby.
collecting money and all the things, you know,
Yeah,
that go in
it's
a
a
dance
lot.
festival.
But
yeah.
it's fantastic experience, and I think that she has done a tremendous work, and it's been recognized by the UNESCO for the 4 years, 5
This
years.
is the fifth year that
The fifth
UNESCO
year that-
is talking
So
about.
Iowa City, this little
I know.
town, this small little festival,
Yeah.
has been recognized by the UNESCO for 5 years in the row.
Wow.
So that's something
Yeah.
that it's hard work. At the same time, we wanted to say, like, okay,
That's your, this is.
now what can we do? What can we do?
Yeah, so what are
Yeah.
we
It's
doing?
time to bring something that it keeps people interested. And so my wife's idea was like, how about if instead of keeping it only
Mm-hmm.
for dancers, dance students, choreographers, all these artists that is in this genre, how about if we open it to musicians, poets, writers,
Mm-hmm.
to bring them in to collaborate with each other,
Mhm.
like in the old time, like when Diaghilev was
Mhm.
in Boston, those times. Because now I mean, it's been very like they bring their piece, they already work with recorders and things like that. But we thought that we will be very interesting to have a call for open call for musicians and poets, writers. Put in on the internet. Have the choreographers choose from this list, and it's open because it's the first time we're doing it. It's like
Yeah.
choose from these ones. If you find one, connect with them, do a work, present it in the CCPA for
Mm-hmm.
one day. So that collaboration is happening. We didn't know if we will have any applications,
Yeah, yeah.
especially with the music, because
that is
it
always
is
the
Yeah.
risk when you do
Yeah,
things, you
it
know.
is.
It's-
And then once you get the applications, are they actually going to be, you know,
yeah.
of
Yeah.
interest?
Yes.
Yes, so
Yeah.
it's like we took a risk, and we said like, but we really think that collaboration with the people from the community,
Yeah.
Mhm.
all that we felt that it will create some kind of buzz, and that we have 16 entries of musicians
Great.
Mhm.
from classical to solo guitarists to composers that can do their things to people who know how to play but they want to play on stage their pianos or their cellos. We have 10 cellos.
Wow.
We have a clarinist.
Yeah.
We have a guitarist. We have a pianist.
Yeah.
So all that is been a really, really good. We still hope that the audience come and see this collaborative, interdisciplinary performance.
Yeah.
So, and we are in the process of selecting also the choreographers, which we know that we have also a good number of choreographers. Many of them, they have chose music. Many of them, they're bringing their own music. And we want to give the opportunity to as many people we can.
Great.
In top of that, we said, okay, this is good. This is a good change. We wanted to bring a new blood, new ideas. We see myself, I've been trying to educate myself in computers, in technology, but it's not immediate, because my generation, we didn't have that. I didn't have that. So it's like young people, they are like savvy in technology, savvy in ideas, savvy in many things. And we kind of follow, we saw 3 people from the university that they are doing their own work, and they're creating their own events, and very, very clever way. So we invite them to be part of the artistic team. And they've been doing fantastic work.
Yes.
One of this, Shannon Harley, Anya Crest, and Corbin Phillips. The 3 of them, they've been amazing.
They have been wonderful.
They're hunger to do things, to do new things, to have experience.
Yes.
So we embrace them, and they've been so wonderful.
Yes.
With ideas.
Yeah.
We are talking to them about what we want to do. It's like, it's done. It's already
It's
already
a quickness, you know,
it's
with
like
technology.
we were talking about create a page in Facebook. Okay, yes, but what do you want to? It's done. Okay, what you need is like so an ideas how to create this connected every single person together. So they've been. I mean, we are very fortunate. We still have we are having the same board, the same everybody who has been with us for all this time with Nora and with us. Yeah. But even everybody is very excited, because it's like, wow, new ideas, new ways of seeing, and they've been very, very good.
So why don't you, before we have to leave, summarize what's happening? I mean, we have screen dance, we have an opening reception, we have a CCPA day. I mean, many things are.
With the festival and the CCPA, we are bringing Nimbus Dance Works, a company from New Jersey.
I know Nimbus.
Okay.
Is Sam Pot coming?
Yes.
Sam Pot is coming.
Sam. He danced for Martha.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, he did.
They will be
so
here
we are
the
bringing
weekend.
Sam. I mean, besides, I have the opportunity to see their work in January when I was in New York City.
Great.
So we are bringing them because they are fantastic.
Oh, I can't wait.
Company.
What date is that?
It will be the 12th. May 12th.
All right.
Yeah.
So they are going to come and give a master class at the CCPA the May 12th at the CCPA. They are going
everything is happening on the stage.
On the stage.
Workshops.
We will have workshops. By
I would say master classes.
Sorry, no workshop. Master class of Nimbus. Master class of hula with Lisa
Lenzi.
Lenzi Moon. Lenzi Moon, she has a very good whip. I don't know if it's a hula.
Anyway, what she does is fire dancing with me.
Fire dancing.
And she's going to be doing fire dancing in the evening performance. But the master class will be without fire, of course. Yes. We might have kids.
We will have another master class with Ashley.
Yeah.
Ashley Bassett.
Yeah.
Bassett, she changed her last name. Ashley Bassett.
Hip-hop.
So these 3 master classes and the performance in the evening. In the evening, all these collaborative local artists, musicians, and dancers and choreographers. Nimbus. With one of the highlights is that another reason we wanted to bring them is because Hannah Wicks is a local from Iowa City that started with Nolte's Academy, and then also went to City Valley of Iowa with a student with my wife, and then she also joined the University of Iowa, and then she went to San Francisco to Lines, the program of pre-professional program with Lines, and after that she went to professional career. So we want to bring this to welcome her back home.
Great.
Yeah.
So all that
Yeah.
happens in May 12th.
Yeah.
Great.
But in April, oh my God, time. In April 28 and 29
Yes.
is the Iowa International Screen Dance
Yes.
Festival.
Yeah.
It's the third year in the road that it screens in Film Scene and in Mexico City in
Later.
La Casa del Cine. That's in August. April 28 and 29 is in Film Scene. With this year, we received 125 entries from 25 different countries. And this Sunday, tomorrow, we curators. We are 10 different curators, judges from different backgrounds. We are going to meet and look at all the films and select about between 10 and 12 to have a 1 hour show screening at Film Scene. We were also fortunate to we bring a keynote speaker, Marta Renzi, who is amazing filmmaker in screen dance. She's an authority. She has got any awards and being commissioned at PBS to create work in screen dance, specifically in screen dance. And she's coming here she's going to give a master class at the university, and she's going to open the festival there the 28th at 10:11 a.m. in the morning. 10:30 a.m.
10:30, no, 11:30.
Sorry, yes, 11:30 to 12, and this shows from 12 to 1.
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday.
Great.
28th and 29th. And then we have a reception on the 28th. in the
Awesome,
evening.
awesome
So you are
reception.
performing, you are doing your thing on the 27th.
I think it's 27th,
And then you come with us on the
Yeah,
28th
I'll
at
see
the
you there.
penthouse.
At the 28th at the
Yeah.
penthouse, at the
Yeah.
penthouse at 28,
Yeah.
which is
Wonderful.
to embrace for everybody the chance to give the chance to everybody to meet
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
artist, meet everybody, and there will be some performances from musicians.
Great.
From the musicians that they apply and they're going to play. There might be some pop-ups performances. Surprises and performances. And just to really, all this is to keep supporting the arts and this festival and education, because we want to keep scholarships for kids who need support.
Yeah, we have had some interesting fund donations for people who
Great.
say they want to support kids that otherwise would not come, or students at the university, I mean, everybody is on a very low budget, so I mean, paying $25 sometimes is out of your
Budget, but we have some couple of founders that say like, I want to donate this money for this kids.
Yeah, for
that way
people.
they submit their work
Yes,
and they are
yeah.
considered.
and they can and they can have
So it's
scholarships
very
to take
exciting.
master classes.
Please, if you have the chance, don't miss that opening celebration. The Iowa Screen Dance Festival, International Iowa Screen Dance Festival. You will see works from all over the world.
Yeah.
Just here in Iowa City.
Yeah, I went last year. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
really wonderful. Ellen was there, right?
Ellen Bromberg.
Yes, and if there is, and if people want to know anything, I know that I gave Gerardo the information, iowdance.org.
Yeah.
That is the website for the dance festival, and all the information will be there.
Yeah.
I mean, for when, where, how much, and everything else.
Yes.
Yes, and we are all
So
excited.
join us to celebrate not just dance. We are celebrating big dance, but we want to embrace everything, the arts.
Yeah.
Dance, music, writing, spoken word, and poetry, and just get together.
Yeah.
Get together and keep supporting
Yeah.
the arts. Where we were talking about, like, it gives us such a pleasure and
Yes.
peace for us when
Yes.
different
Yeah.
situations and difficult situations are happening in the world.
And dancing and sharing the arts, the performing arts and the visual arts like screen dance together is always, it's a good thing. It's a
a good
positive thing. It's and engages you with the community.
Be together, support each other,
Yep.
create.
And having a good time. We always have a glass of wine. We always like to do things I mean, we like to include the social part of it, the being together with people, the communicating, the talking, the sharing ideas, the talking about work in progress. You never know when a collaboration might happen. It's good to have that moment to have conversations with people. So that is why we are offering the opportunities at the penthouse and before and after screen dance at Film Scene, and just let's get together
and
have a good time and talk about what we love. And, yeah.
Young people, come and support us. Mature people like myself, come and support us.
Yes,
We are
yes.
good, but we just need to support what's important for the next generations, to teach them what is important. And yes, they have to study, they have to work hard, but also they have to feed their souls through the arts and through all kind of arts. And be open to that.
And we're all working hard for that.
Yes,
it's important. Yes. Well, I think we are almost on time. Gerardo is saying yes. We spent an hour just chatting here. And that has been, it went like that. You see, I told you, yes. Anyway, it's been great that the two of you came. The conversation just was like flowing, no need for questions or anything. And it was fantastic. So thank you, Gerardo, for being on the studio there.
Thank you,
We value what you are doing. And we love to be at PATV doing work with dance and dancers and things happening in the community. Thank you.
ciao.
Ciao, Bella.
Bella.
Yay!
We did it.